to build a track.
If you just tune into this channel and you don't know what's going on, we are working on my e36. It's sitting on 200,000 miles and it's 1.8. If you missed the previous video, we are, well, started repairing it and rejuvenating and just clean it up. The ultimate goal with this car is to turn it into 2.8 and just have it as a nice cleanish example of e36. Yeah, without further ado, the plan for today. So, number one, get this panel welded on and finish this side of the car, well, this side of the seal. Another part of this plan is to finish this section. This is the same side of the seal, just the rear end. I've opened the jacking point. It had some rust, but overall it's just like the jacking point itself, the metal is still there and it's very solid. Another little thing that I discovered was this section here. It was caved in. I think there was some kind of like, I don't know, bump on the road or something, got it dented at some point and it's just rusted away. So I don't think there was a spot weld, because this is the section between two spot welds. I don't know if you can see it here, but right here. So what happened, these two sheets of metal just got split and over time the rust started forming and basically ate this outer skin out. The inner seal, well, the inner skin is still fine. And the question is whether we want to cut a little bit out and weld the new piece of metal in, or just clean it up and sim seal it so it's not spreading and not letting any water in. That's one. It's already quite a lot of work for today, so I don't know if we will be able to knock it out in one day. But why are we doing all of this? Is not just to make it nice and clean, but I want to get the car out, drive it in forward, so I'll have a lot more room to work on the rear end, because I want to replace the rear end. As you can see, this is a 1.8 and came out with drum brakes from the factory, and that's just not good, because the plan is to turn it into 2.8, and that's it. This is the 2.8 e36 rear axle, subframe, all the trailing arms, everything minus the diff and the shafts, and it came with the anti-roll bar, which is nice. All the brake cables and everything got attached to it, and I paid only £100 for the whole thing, which is amazing. So without further ado, I'd say let's start cutting this panel up to the shape and we can start welding it. Yeah, let's do it.
Кофе с кардамоном, когда ты приедешь в мою
admit, I spent a lot more time than I initially expected on this panel. By the way, don't mind the gaps. Right now are just being held by itself and nothing else, so it's not very snug, but it's actually fitting quite well. Yeah, as I said, too much time, to be more precise, about half a day on one panel. And I don't even know why, because I'm gonna run the side skirts anyway, so it's not like anyone is gonna see it. But anyways, time to tack weld it and see how it's actually aligning. And there are gonna be some gaps to fill, but as I said, overall I'm quite happy with the look of it. I just need to spend a little more time and finesse it in place, tack weld it and shape it so the gaps are as small as possible. And then we're gonna continue on the backside. Well, you can tell that where I blew a few holes here and there. Overall, I didn't grind it all the way down, simply because, as I said, I need to go over and fix a few things here and there, and I need to continue this seam just to kind of like finish it off. At the bottom, I plugged well things. This thing almost done. I need to, as I said, finish it. I just ran out of welding wire. Overall, not too bad. As I said, once everything is nice and smooth and I put some Bond on top of it, just like really nice coats, just to remove any kind of like sharp transitions and stuff like that. I think it will look okay-ish. As I said, I'm not a mechanic, I'm not a fabricator, my line of job is completely different, it's just a hobby. So guys, if you want to criticize my welds, feel free to do that, but there's no point, honestly. I'm not making living by repairing cars, it's just my own hobby. What else? This corner, I didn't like how it was blowing. In retrospect, I should have cut it all the way up to here and should have replaced the whole thing instead of trying to save this little bit, because I think inside it was a little bit too thin from all the rust. But from the distance, what I really like is the shape, how everything flows. There's no like, well, I'm sure there's warpage, but it's not that visible, and overall the shape is still kind of like there. The plan is to run some kind of side skirts. I haven't decided on the style, but we will cover it, so nobody will see my awful welds, but it's good enough for yeah, your hobby style welds.